at the end of class. So, all right. So we already have a menu that shows up on the chart, and that we created only in our chart program, right? So it's what they call a context menu, kind of like the right click on something in Windows. So it only shows up on that chart view, and it shows up in the little 3 dots on the top right. Right? So if we go here, eventually, there we go. We've got our 3 dots up here. So that's a context-sensitive menu that relates to the view or the activity that's running currently. So what we want are some buttons up here in the navigation bar to switch between the views that we have. All right? So what we're going to do, the problem with that is, since we're out of time, I was going to do it differently to show you. The problem is that we would have to put the menu inflator and the on option selected, this on create menus and this on options item selected. That is the same routine that handles the navigation bar as well. So what we want to do, we would have to have this in every one of our activities, which is not very dry, right? So we're going to create a new class. This seems to be the consensus on the internet. I'm going to call it BaseActivity. And this is going to extend the MyActivity class. All right? So given this class, we can do things that would be across multiple activities. Then what we do is in our various activities, like our MyActivity.java class, instead of extending activity, we're going to extend BaseActivity. All right, so now this class becomes a subclass of the BaseActivity. So we can put which is a subclass of activity. So through that chain, we still get all of this data.
Subclass of MyActivity. So they're subclasses of each other.
Oh, did I do it wrong? Yeah, in my base class, it's not MyActivity, it's activity. Yes.
I was getting confused there.
Sorry.
It's extending.
Yeah, no, that's a loop. We don't want to do that. So this is, come on. So this one extends activity. So we've made this the parent class of all of our application. Then our MyActivity extends the BaseActivity. So now we've got activity, BaseActivity, and MyActivity. And we've got, if I do it in my weight logger, I'll do the same thing. I extend my BaseActivity instead. And now I've got BaseActivity, weight logger. No, I've got activity at the very top. BaseActivity is the subclass of that. Weight logger is the subclass of BaseActivity. So, and remember how we have inheritance. When we subclass something, we get all of the methods that the parent has, right? So we have all of that inheritance going through that. So things like this method here, my toast it, that would be a perfect method to put into our top level class, right? So let's cut that out. Put that in my BaseActivity class. And instead of MyActivity.this, let's see, how did I do that? we need the context, and there's another method to get the current context to make this more global. Get application context. All right, so my little toast it method can now be used. Let's make it public. Now my toast it can be used in my activity. If we look in here, I should have a toast it in here somewhere. Yeah. So it's finding it in this class's parent, which is the base activity. All right, everybody understand the hierarchy there? So it's like in Ruby when we overrode the 2s method, things like that, right? So we want to create a new menu in this base activity class. All right, and we're going to use that same on options select and on options menu. So let's do this. Override public Boolean on create options menu. I could just copy it, yeah. I probably could. This is so much more fun. All right, so we on create, and then we do the, all right, I'll go copy it, fine. In my chart, I do this line of code here and return true. So my base activity does that. Now, the menu that I want to get, though, is not the chart resource. I want to create a new menu that is an application-wide menu. So I need to create a new resource, and we're going to create a new resource menu file, and I'm going to call it menu or app master menu. That sounds good. No caps. Doesn't like caps. And then in our base activity, we're gonna load in master menu. That's going to read the resource file and create this and inflate it, etc. So let's go create. Well, let's put the other method in here that we need to override, and it's going to be the on options item selected, which is this guy. Paste that code in there. All right, and these cases are going to change, so we'll just delete this for now. That's the basic structure. We're going to have some item here instead that's going to be in our master menu XML file. Okay, so those are the two methods, and each activity from that will have access to that, and it will have already been overridden for each view, each activity. So it's basically going to put the menu on every activity that we create, that we extend from our base activity class. So let's create our menu XML. And we need a new item. So item, and it's going to have an ID that we're going to give it of an @ plus ID, and I'm going to call it switch to BMI. So that's my body mass. Then we have another property that we need. We don't use commas. Called order in category, and we're going to set this to a number. What that does is it tells which order they're going to be displayed on the top navbar. All right, and it starts with the lowest one to the far left and keeps incrementing across. They start, it's just got to be different. It's got to be a different number. If you have them all the same number, it just goes in order of the XML file.
So you have like 100, 101, 102,
Yes. Yeah, if I had 1, 2, 3, it would be the same. All right, we need this. This is a key one, show as action, and that means to show it as a little menu icon in that navigation bar, as opposed to putting it in the 3 little dotted context menu. And we want to have this to say always. We want that always to show, and then we can give it an icon. And we pull it from our drawable class, and we can have an icon, and we'll call it action BMI, which it doesn't find. And then we need a title, which is going to be, actually, since it's going to be have an icon, it's not going to be displayed. But just so we know what this is going to, we're going to go to the calculator. All right, so let's just do one for now. And I need to get an icon, so I want to show you guys a place to go get this icon, to create icons. So in our main base activity, we need to have this ID that we're going to switch in our code. And base activity. So we're going to switch here, r.id. Switch to BMI. That's the ID in the other one. We'll take this guy out. And so in this case, I only have one item that I'm dealing with here. All right. So we'll add another one in a minute. So let's go find this cool little feature I found. It's called Android UI utils. Android UI utils .googlecode.com, and that switches it to code.google.com/p/Android UI. All right, long name, lots of results. Let's see, this Asset Studio is what we want to go to. And there's an action bar, let's see, action bar and tab icons. So this will create so I want to have a text version of this, and I'm going to just call it BMI. And it creates a graphical icon in all the different sizes that I need for the various screen resolutions. And it creates a little icon. Okay, so that's a graphical icon. So then all I have to do is download this file. And we've got all the different versions here. So we just have to drag those to our drawable pieces in the right folders. All right? So it's just a way of getting. So this is the HDPI. So I'm going to drag this guy over to my HDPI. And this is my MDPI, so I'm going to grab that to my MDPI, etc. XDPI goes to XDPI. Come on. There we go. Because I'm dragging from a zip file. And then they have a double X HDPI, which is super high, duperly big resolution. So I don't have that folder, so all I have to do is create that. So I'm going to create a new resource directory, and we call it the same as this, drawable-xxhdpi. Drawable-xxhdpi. And the resource type is going to be drawable. And then they screwed my thing up. XXHDPI. All right, so now I've got a new folder, and I can put this big guy over here in my new folder. Cool, eh? Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty slick. You can change if you're using certain colors and all this kind of stuff, too. You can add more padding. All kinds of good stuff. All right, so let's run this and see if I've forgotten anything.
You have toasted and weight logger.
Oh, that, see, because we copied it a long time ago, remember? So we just throw this guy away. It's gone. Because now we've dried it up. It's now in our base class. Should be public. Yep. All right, so look at this cute little icon up here, BMI. So let's go to our weight logger. And it also has the BMI. So if I click on this, I should be going back to the calculator. Come on. I know you can do it.
Did I get set?
Didn't it? Oh, I didn't. See, I knew I forgot something. In my base activity, I didn't actually do anything, right? So it's switching, going to switch, and it's not actually doing anything. So I need to call the method. I need to start my activity. And we can do this all in one line.
Why do you do it the same way the book does it?
That's a surprise.
Huh?
Too many parentheses. Why don't I do it the same way the book does it? Because I like this way. I said there's lots of ways to do this. So now when this selects, it's going to start the activity in the My Activity class, which is my BMI calculator, right? No. Because remember, every time a screen gets switched out, it gets destroyed. It's very active at destroying stuff. But so it does create a new one. It's just that the other one's already destroyed. So.
Are you going to go back to the master view? I don't have that last one.
Which line?
On the master view?
This one?
No, the actual XML file.
All right, so notice I got my little BMI icon. I go to my weight logger, and this time it better work. Guaranteed. I can click BMI. Come on. Yes. Success. Isn't that sweet? So now I could take away this weight logger button, and once I put up a weight logger icon, so that I could use this bar to switch back and forth. So I could take this BMI calculator out and have it up here, right? And my chart, if I go to my chart, it adds. It should have had it in there. So it should have moved over the BMI over here.
You're not calling it though. The super chart, you're overriding it in the other one.
Yeah, but I'm calling it here. If none of these are selected, it should still call this.
One is selected though by default.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not calling it here. What did I do here?
Did you extend the base class for that chart?
No, I'm not doing it here either. Stop it. Let's see what my guy over here does. Well, I'll figure that. I'm running it on my other computer here, and we'll see what happens. So let's do this again, just so we can see this. Well, let's create another icon. I want to go back so I have my trimming. You got yours working? Yay! Very good. All right, so let's call this one my log. And just log is small enough. People should know what that does. So we'll download that guy. And do the same thing with this by putting all of these files again in the right place. I need the HDPI here. I need the MDPI. Notice it doesn't create an LDPI. I think they're kind of trying to deprecate that because it's so small. And the XDPI.
Will it just default to text at that point?
If it doesn't have an icon, I don't know. Let's try it. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? All right, so then I need to create a new item for that. And where do I do that? For my menu? My master menu XML. So I'm going to copy this guy, paste it, call this one switch to log. And this is going to be a drawable IC action log. And this is going to be called weight logger. Then in my main base class, I have to add a new switcher, a case statement here, to call the ID of switch to log. And this is going to call a new activity on what class? just like we did for the button in these My Activities, we're going to go to Weight Logger. Let's see, what am I?
If a resource of a certain resolution is missing, it'll scale another one up or down.
Right. Yeah, if it doesn't find it, it scales it, but you're almost always better creating them if you can, because they're so yeah, it's going to be better if you can actually create it. So I'm going to go to chart.class. Yep, sorry, weight logger .class. There we go. So let's run that guy again, and let's see why my yeah, it works on my Mac, and I don't see anything different. Of course, they're all, it's got to be.
Expand out your chart. Do you expand activity or base activity?
There you go. That's it. So let's run it again.
Didn't you say that earlier and you said, oh, you don't need to do that?
No, you have to do that.
You said it earlier. You said, oh, you
I don't think you heard it.
I didn't hear him.
He's in the zone.
I'm in the zone, that's right. I'm zoning. Come on. There we go. So now I've got a BMI and a log. I can click on my log button. And it goes to my log. I don't know why I got that. I click on my weight chart. And it should move these guys over. Yeah.
Our chart looks this way.
So it's possible that, see, let's run it again because I ran it twice real quick. It might not have gotten the latest stuff. There we go. Crash the old one. Log. It looks like it's using a different, I might have copied the wrong one in here or something. But the icon looks a little different, doesn't it? Weight chart. Yep, I don't know. Something wrong there. Something wrong there.
Count out the line chart, bar chart.
No,
Together.
no, that's not it.
Go back down to chart on
On the which one?
on the chart instead.
Well, let me
That
pause.
would be on options. I was selected. It must be the one above. What's the method above?
Yeah, see, you've still got your method in your chart class. Just
Don't you need to call the
Hold it
one on
out.
the base class or base activity?
I didn't have to.
Oh, 'cause that's,
It seems logical that I'd call a super here, right?
Yeah.
But
so you're doing
how that works with
you're
your-
inflating just the chart one.
right.
So wouldn't you need the master menu? Or
Yeah, you'd think so. Why does it work on my Mac though?
because you're doing something different, you just don't realize it.
There's something that's different. My Mac just works. So there you go again. That's the problem. It could be a version difference. They change this stuff so much. Let's add a super here. Super menu. Why can't I call a super on that guy?
Now I remove those.
Oh, it's super dot. There we go.
On create options.
Oh, I got the wrong thing. All right, let's try that. It seems reasonable that I should have to call super. Come on. Come on, baby, it worked for me. Yeah, that did it, but God, I did not do that on my Mac. It seems reasonable that I should have had to do that, but so now I've got my context-sensitive menu here, and I can still go back all the way to the beginning to my bar charts, my body mass calculator. Look at that. Is that beautiful? Come on. Boy, that's slow. So now I've got all my menu items up here. I could do away with these little buttons that we created initially to go back and forth between the.
But you have to remove
And I should have one.
method, so.
Yeah. And I should also create a third one up here called chart to go straight to my weight chart. Perhaps, right? And you guys have to have one that goes to the alarm system, and so you're going to have more and more of those that you create. All right? And there's also a way, we won't do it now, but there's a way to make this a button so you can save some space. This health application, if you click on this, it will go to your home activity, whatever you call that, whatever you want that to be, you can have it go to your home activity. So you have to decide on your application what you want that to do.
Well, doesn't your home activity have to be called name?
No,
The view?
no,
Should change it next to
no, doesn't have to be called that. Because, for instance, this is a bad name for my activity, right? We started that, but that should be my BMI activity.
I was talking
So,
about your,
and any one of those could be our main activity.
let's talk about your layout,
The manifest?
no, not in the manifest. When you go into the res, and then you go into layouts, you have to call it main.xml.
No,
I remember changing that.
because
Screwed up.
it's just the name here. That's just the name. I'd have to change it here as well.
I did.
It shouldn't matter. So I wanted to try one thing. Let's change our master menu and take away the BMI. Oops.
Control.
There we go. What's wrong with that?
Commented out both lines or something.
It did, because it's inside XML. I can't comment out stuff in XML. So we'll delete it. There we go. Take care of that. So I want to see, without the icon, it should create an icon from this text. But that's why you have an icon, because you don't have much room there. It's really small.
Yeah. You don't want to
Yeah.
track stuff up, yeah.
So here, BMI calculator. So it is a clickable link, but it's really big, right? So, all right. Any questions on any of that?